Some of the biggest names you shared the ring with, from the famous guys.
My man Boo Boo, he sparred all the time.
Demetrius, crazy talented.
For years.
Okay, you sparred him. Yo, hold on. You sparred him, you sparred Canelo. If they fight, a lot of people want to see that fight. Break it down.
I don't know, I want to say both my boys.
The fans are the winners. I say the fans, you know.
But Boo Boo is my man, though. So
I say, I have a slogan. When I don't want to pick a winner, I say the fans are the winners.
Yeah, that's it.
You're going to just watch it.
I give it a draw.
But it would be a very competitive fight.
Yeah, it would be very competitive fight.
Because Canelo has the power, Boo Boo has the footwork.
Yeah, he's slick. That'd be a good fight. I don't know what Canelo, does Canelo even want to fight?
I don't know. Who has faster hands?
Boo Boo.
Who has better footwork?
Oh, Boo Boo got that.
Who has better defense?
Yeah, Boo Boo got that.
Better feints?
Boo Boo got that too.
Canelo has some amazing feints.
Alright guys, Fulu coming to you with another video. I hope all is well. So I was just thinking, shout outs to Dante's Boxing Nation for this video. You know, he kind of, I want to say he kind of sparked something in me with the video. And I was just like thinking, you know, is Canelo Alvarez the best pound for pound fighter, or is he the most popular pound for pound fighter? And, you know, now that I think about it, he's the most popular one. And the reasons being that he's the most popular one is probably because he's the most visible one. You know what I mean? You see him playing golf. You see him on, I think, Heineken commercials. I think Nas is kind of like cool with him as well. You know, I like Nas as an MC. You know, he's a good MC. You know, I'm not gonna cap. You know, it's a fact. He's in my top list of MCs. I'm not gonna sit here and cap about that. Definitely not gonna cap about that. But the thing is, I think really honestly, when it comes to Canelo, is that he's just popular, bro. Like, that's what it really comes down to. But you know, pretty much all Canelo fights end the same way, or all, when you watch pretty much every Canelo fight, it pretty much goes the same way. Like, the dude is outboxing him, and then he just catches the guy with a big shot, you know? I mean, you look at his last fights, and that pretty much happened in every fight that he had, is that, you know, he was getting outboxed. He couldn't adjust to the guy boxing. You know, he couldn't, like, make the proper adjustments to him boxing. And he just waited for big shots, you know? Eddie Reynoso, that just shows you something about his coaching, is that, like, when you can't make those adjustments, that just lets me know that, hey, you know, you're a limited fighter. You know, and I said it before and I'll say it again, Canelo is a guy, like many of his fans will say that he's this like ultra slick boxer. He's this ultra slick boxer that you know, he does certain things, and you know, he's just so skilled and stuff like that. And really, Canelo is like, he's ordinary, bro. Like, he's very ordinary. If pound for pound was based on skills, like if pound for pound was like based on skill level, then, you know, Canelo would be somewhere near the bottom. You know, but I think pound for pound really is like a popularity contest. And then when you think about pound for pound, it's kind of an objective thing. You know, like someone's pound for pound may be different from another person's pound for pound. You feel me? Now, another thing I want to say too is that when it comes to these pound for pound rankings and stuff like that, one thing I want to say is that you know, that the what has happened now, you know, and I think what happens is that a lot of these fighters are trying to stay on code, because they know that if they don't stay on code, that could be their ass. Because what happens is you have fighters who will say, yeah, Canelo, he's pound for pound #1 fighter. You know, they'll say that. But deep down inside, they know that, hey, you know, this guy is not that great. You know what I mean? Shakur Stevenson, like, furthermore confirmed that by saying, like, you know, if they were in the same weight class, Shakur would beat him. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. So I think what happens is that they know that if they do say something bad about Canelo, then there goes their brand and stuff like that. But the thing is even if they do say things good about Canelo, they're still going to be booed and stuff like that. For example, Devin Haney, I believe he said Canelo is pound for pound #1 best fighter, right? Devin Haney said that, right? But, you know, although he said that, it was still not reciprocated from the racist Mexican fan base. You know, the racist Mexican fan base, they pretty much you know, booed him when he fought Jojo Diaz. They booed him, stuff like that. And you know, here's a guy who actually had to beg his mandatory to fight him. You know, it wasn't the other way around. Jojo Diaz wasn't looking to fight Devin Haney. Jojo Diaz was looking to fight Ryan Garcia. You know, and the thing is about that fight, Jojo Diaz, is that Devin Haney was really kind of trying to push the action of that fight. And he just did what he had to do. And I think, honestly, he could have made the fight easier. But it's sad that, you know, even him trying to entertain the fans by doing all those things, it still didn't help. You know what I mean? And that's how it works, you know. For the most part, you know, one thing I realize is that one thing I realize about Mexican fans is that their flag trumps everything else. Like, their flag trumps logic, their flag trumps you know, reality, their flag trumps everything. Now, if, for example, let's say if black fighters, like, let's say Shakur, let's say the shoe was on the other foot. Let's say that Shakur was a guy who stayed planted, come forward fighter, didn't really have skills, just did that, right? Then for me, it would be like, okay, well, you know, I can't really rock with him. He's basic, you know. That's what I would say. I would say that, you know, that Shakur was a basic fighter. You know, I say that about Maurice Hooker. I say that about the Charlotte sisters. That, you know, these guys are just basic ass fighters. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, I want to say that, you know, if Oscar Valdez was the elusive one, good footwork and stuff like that, then yeah, of course, I'm going to be like, yeah, Oscar Valdez is going to win that fight, and he's going to win it relatively easy, right? But, you know, since he's not, I can't really say that. And because I can't say that, of course, like, you're going to be looked at as a race fan. But again, if I was a fan of that style, then I would be saying that, hey, you know, these guys, these fighters like Shakur, these fighters like Haney, these type of fighters like the Erislandy Lawrence, these type of guys, I'll be like, man, they run too much. I'll be saying that, but since I'm not a fan of quote unquote Mexican style, I'm not gonna say that. You know, I'm gonna say what I know to be the truth. And the truth is, it's like, these guys are, it's more difficult to do what they do than do with like Oscar Valdez does, or do what like Canelo does, or do what like Miguel Berchelt does. It's way more difficult to fight like that. As a matter of fact, you have to think more in fighting like that. You know, you have to think of openings. You have to think of different type of things. So like, it's way more difficult to have a fight like that than have the fight that they are kind of accustomed to. It's way more difficult, man. I'm telling you. So when they like bring these points up, it's like, bro, you guys are being very, very extra, man. You guys are being very, very extra. You know, because it's like I said in a previous video too, there was that time where they said Brandon Figueroa said that, you know, he won the fight against Fulton because he said Fulton ran, you know, but the thing is, Fulton was in the pocket with him and Fulton exchanged, but then there were certain points where Fulton outboxed him. Fulton said he wanted Fulton was willing to give him a rematch, but, you know, he hasn't said anything or done anything ever since. It's sad to say it, but in his case, in the Figueroa case, I think what that was it was like a situation of him trying to present himself as some heartthrob, knockout type dude. That's why his name is the Heartbreaker, and they kind of like presented him as a pretty boy type dude. You'll notice that with a lot of a lot of the Hispanic fighters. They do that. Like a lot of the Mexican fighters, you know, like they try to, like, even Oscar De La Hoya, he did that. You know, they try to go off of like sex appeal and shit like that. You know, they do that shit. Whereas like most of their opponents aren't on that type of time. Most of their opponents just want to win. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. At the end of the day, I just believe like Canelo is the most popular fighter. I don't believe he's like pound for pound number one fighter. You know, if the guys that he fought, I mean, in the first Triple G fight, Triple G has power. You know, he has power. Like, let's be real, the power is there. But that made Canelo hesitant to like engage with him in the first fight. However, in the second fight, you know, we knew he had his cow meat diet, so it was easier for him, right? So with that being said, you know, it is what it is, though. But again, I just think he's the more popular fighter. I don't think he's pound for pound number one. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think he's pound for pound number one. I think he's like, as I said before, he's basic fighter, come forward fighter, moves and stuff like that, but nothing really special. You know, like, put it this way, I'm not gonna watch Canelo. I'm not gonna watch Canelo to learn boxing. You know what I mean? Like, if I, because every day I'm learning, you know, but I really wouldn't really be able to like see anything I can learn from in watching him. I mean, to learn boxing, I think you would have to watch the likes of like Erislandy Lara, you know, Floyd Mayweather, of course, you know what I mean, Andre, you know what I mean, Haney, Shakur, because when you watch those guys, you learn about distance, you learn about range, you learn about footwork, and you learn about all those other little tangibles, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, that's how I feel about the whole thing. And I want to add one more thing to this. If I was a pro Canelo like channel and stuff like that, if I did decide, oh, you know, King Canelo, if I was like that, it still wouldn't matter. I would still be like his fan base would still dislike me. You know, because for them it doesn't have to do with boxing, it has to do with race. You know, that's just how it is. You know, race and nationality. And since I don't have the Mexican nationality, it's not gonna work. And another thing too is if I did have Mexican nationality, being like let's say if I was an Afro-Mexican, still wouldn't really be respected, you know. But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now, guys. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments, let me know what y'all think. Do you think it's more of a popularity thing with him, or do you rate his skills very highly? Anyhow, Fula signing out. Njadama.